Turkey's trade with Africa skyrocketed past $30 billion in 2022. This figure is more than an economic statistic. It signals a fundamental shift in geopolitical relationships. Turkey is rapidly emerging as a significant and influential partner across Africa. This transformation did not happen overnight. It is the result of a deliberate, multi-decade strategy. Ankara has woven together commerce diplomacy, military engagement. We will explore its economic foundations, its cultural outreach, and its growing security footprint. Understanding this strategy is key to grasping 21st century global power shifts. This rise from a minor player to a major stakeholder is remarkable. 2 decades ago, Turkish presence in many parts of Africa was almost non-existent. Today, Turkish Airlines flies to more African capitals than any other non-African carrier. This connectivity is a physical manifestation of policy. Ankara calls it its Africa Partnership Policy. The policy treats African nations as equal partners in development and trade. That approach has resonated with African leaders. Many are wary of European baggage and debt-heavy models. Turkey positions itself as a viable alternative ally. Economically, Turkish construction firms build infrastructure across the continent. Construction in Senegal. Construction in Ethiopia. Diplomatically, embassies expanded from about a dozen in 2002 to over 40 today. Culturally, Turkey promotes heritage through educational scholarships, language centers, development aid projects. Militarily, Turkey's role grows. Base in Somalia, sales of Turkish drones. These pillars reinforce each other, creating an expanding sphere of influence. Why this matters now? The world is entering a new era of multipolar competition. Major and middle powers vie for influence, resources, and markets in Africa. Africa is no longer a passive stage for great power politics. African nations now have more agency and more choices. Turkey's strategy shows how a rising power can carve a niche. The most visible pillar of Turkey's Africa strategy is its economic engagement. Turkish construction companies have become a dominant force in building Africa's future. They are responsible for a wide array of projects: new international airports, modern highways, large-scale housing developments, national stadiums. In Senegal, Blaise Diagne International Airport. Ethiopia, massive railway projects. Tanzania, massive railway projects. This focus on infrastructure is strategic. It creates tangible, high-visibility symbols of Turkish partnership. It also generates jobs. It addresses critical development needs for African nations. It creates a foundation of mutual benefit and goodwill for further cooperation. Beyond construction, bilateral trade is flourishing. Subscribe to our channel. Turkey actively imports raw materials and agricultural products from Africa: oil from Nigeria, phosphates from Morocco, gold from Sudan. In return, Turkey exports finished goods, textiles, electronics, home appliances, processed foods. This trade is not just about volume. It is about creating dependencies and integrating economies. By being a key supplier and reliable customer, Turkey embeds itself into partners' economic fabric. That creates incentives for governments to keep friendly, stable relations with Ankara. Direct investment and development aid are also crucial. TICA has offices across the continent. TICA funds projects like building hospitals in Somalia. Turkey's diplomatic footprint in Africa has expanded at an astonishing pace. In 2002, Turkey had only 12 embassies on the entire continent. Today, it operates more than 40 diplomatic missions. This rapid expansion is a clear statement of intent. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has personally visited more than 30 African countries, a record for any non-African leader. These high-level visits are complemented by regular Turkey-Africa partnership summits. Leaders meet to discuss cooperation on everything from trade counterterrorism. This intensive diplomatic engagement makes Turkey a constant and familiar presence. It builds personal relationships that smooth the way for deeper strategic alignment. Cultural and educational initiatives form the heart of Turkey's soft power. The Maarif Foundation now runs hundreds of schools across Africa. It often takes over institutions linked to the Gulen movement. These schools teach a Turkish-backed curriculum and spread cultural influence. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Turkey Scholarships Program brings thousands of African students to Turkish universities each year. African students celebrating graduation in Istanbul, waving national flags. Students return home with degrees and an affinity for Turkish culture. They form informal networks of ambassadors. Shared religious identity is another powerful tool. Somalia, Senegal, Nigeria. Turkey leverages its role as a leading Sunni Muslim power. It funds construction and restoration of mosques. Great Mosque of Algiers. Exterior shot. It supports Islamic charities and cultural centers. This religious diplomacy builds trust Western powers cannot replicate. It positions Turkey as a brotherly leading nation across the Sahel, the Horn of Africa. Diplomacy. While soft power opens doors, Turkey has increasingly backed its Africa strategy with a credible, hard power component. The most significant symbol of this is Camp Turksam, a large military training base established in Mogadishu, Somalia, in 2017. This base is more than just a training facility. It is a strategic foothold in the Horn of Africa, region critical for maritime trade routes through the Red Sea Gulf of Aden. At the base, Turkish officers train thousands of Somali National Army soldiers. This effort directly contributes to state-building and counter-terrorism efforts against groups like Al-Shabaab. It also makes Turkey an indispensable security partner for the Somali government, giving Ankara significant leverage. The sale of Turkish military hardware, particularly unmanned aerial vehicles, has become a game-changer. The Bayraktar TB2 drone gained global fame for its effectiveness in conflicts in Syria, in Libya, in Ukraine. Now, it is a highly sought-after commodity for African governments battling insurgencies. Countries like Ethiopia, Nigeria, Togo have reportedly acquired Turkish drones to enhance their surveillance and strike capabilities. This, drone diplomacy provides Turkey with several advantages. It generates revenue for its burgeoning defense industry. It strengthens military-to-military ties with partner nations. It gives Turkey a direct stake in the outcomes of regional security challenges without deploying its own troops in combat. Turkey's security cooperation extends beyond just Somalia and drone sales. It has signed defense and security pacts with numerous African nations, including Nigeria, Senegal, Ethiopia. These agreements cover a wide range of activities. They include joint military exercises, intelligence sharing training for police and gendarmerie forces. In the Sahel region, Turkey provides support to countries fighting jihadist insurgencies, positioning itself as a reliable security partner in a region where Western influence is waning. By filling these security vacuums, Turkey not only enhances its own strategic importance, but also challenges the traditional roles of powers like France, the United States, in a critical geopolitical arena. This military dimension serves multiple strategic purposes. On one level, it protects Turkish economic interests and citizens abroad. On another level, it projects Turkey as a capable and independent power that can provide effective security solutions. This is particularly appealing to African leaders who are looking to diversify their security partnerships away from a sole reliance on Western nations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The driving force behind Turkey's multifaceted Africa strategy is a grand ambition to re-establish itself as a major global power. Economically, Africa represents a vast, untapped market, a source of essential natural resources for Turkey's growing industrial base. Turkish leaders see the continent's demographic boom and economic growth as the next frontier for opportunity. Geopolitically, building a network of allies in Africa gives Turkey more weight in institutions like the United Nations. It allows Ankara to pursue a more independent foreign policy balancing traditional Western alliances with new partnerships in the global South. This is a quest for strategic autonomy on the world stage. However, this ambitious strategy is not without significant challenges and criticisms. Some observers accuse Turkey of pursuing a neo-Ottoman agenda, suggesting motives are about reviving historical influence rather than equal partnerships. Heavy reliance on large contracts for Turkish firms raises concerns about debt sustainability in African nations, echoing critiques often leveled at China. Please subscribe to our channel. Turkey's military interventions, particularly its drone sales and involvement in conflicts like Ethiopia, can be destabilizing. These actions risk embroiling Turkey in complex local disputes and drawing criticism from regional and international actors. The strategy requires a delicate balancing act. Turkey must manage relationships in Africa while navigating ties with other global powers. Rivals watch closely: the UAE, Egypt, and established players like France, the United States, and China. Competing for influence can lead to friction and proxy competition in fragile states. Internally, the strategy's sustainability depends on Turkey's economic health. An economic downturn at home could limit Ankara's ability to fund aid projects, investments, diplomatic initiatives that have won friends and influenced governments across Africa. Looking ahead, Turkey's role in Africa is set to grow. Its model of combining trade, please subscribe to our channel. Aid, culture, and security has proven effective and appealing to many African nations. Long-term success depends on Turkey acting as a genuine partner rather than a purely extractive power. It must manage risks of overextension and ensure projects deliver real, sustainable benefits to African communities. For the rest of the world, Turkey's rise in Africa signals a more crowded and complex geopolitical landscape. Understanding Ankara's motives and methods is essential. If you found this analysis useful, subscribe to our channels for more insights into the shifting global order. Turkey's consolidation in Africa is a multifaceted strategy blending economic, diplomatic, military, and cultural initiatives. With increasing investments, expanding diplomatic networks, and strategic military engagements, Turkey is positioning itself as a significant player in Africa's evolving geopolitical landscape. While challenges remain, Turkey's sustained presence indicates a long-term commitment to strengthening its influence across the continent, shaped by both economic ambitions and strategic considerations.